If you recently got a settled status in the UK, you might be wondering, what about my child? Are they going to apply for ILR? When? Or will they become British citizen automatically? In this video, I'm going to explain all these things to you step by step. I'm going to tell you what happens to a child that you brought to the UK. That is the child that was born outside the UK. I will tell you what happens to the child born in the UK before you get your settled status. And what happens to the child born right after you get your settled status? If you want to understand all this scenario, then I advise you to watch till the end. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ollie. So in today's video, I'll be talking about what happens to the child, your dependent child, when you get your ILR. So first of all, let's start with the child born outside the UK. So assuming you came into the UK and maybe 3 years later or 2 years later, you brought in your dependent, you brought in your child in the UK. Now, by the time you're getting your settled status, your child must have like 2 years left before they will apply for ILR. That child that you born outside the UK do not automatically become British citizen. No, that child will have to complete 5-year route because you are on a 5-year route visa before you apply for your ILR. That child also will have to complete that 5-year route before they can apply for ILR. Okay, so assuming by the time you applied for your ILR and get your settled status, assuming that that child has lived with you in the UK for 3 years, it means that this child has extra 2 years left before you can apply for ILR for that child, right? So what happens is that you will have to extend their visa. You will extend the child's visa, okay, for extra 2 years before they will be able to apply for ILR. I don't know how many child, let's assume you have 2 kids, 3 kids, you will have to extend their visa first. When they complete that 5-year period, that is when you can apply for ILR for them. And I've made a video on how to extend visas. You can extend visas using unique application number of your last visa, not the one you used while you're applying for your ILR, no, but the one you use on your last visa extension. That is the unique application number you will use and extend this visa for them. Because if you want to switch them to family visa because you are a settled person, the clock will reset for them and they will start all over again. Okay, so do well to watch that video that I've made and then you will understand better. So they will complete their own 5-year route before you can apply for them to get their permanent residency. Also, if your spouse is not eligible to apply for ILR yet, they also have to complete their 5-year route before they can apply for ILR. So the second scenario is, what if that child was born in the UK before you get your settled status? What happens? Will they apply with you? So usually when you born a child before you get your settled status, that child that you born in the UK is not British by birth. No, they are not British by birth. After you get your settled status, you can apply for them. You can apply for citizenship for them. You don't apply for ILR for them. Instead, you apply for British citizenship for them. So they can become British citizen before you. So assuming you got your ILR this year, you can apply for your kids to become British citizen even before you, because you yourself, you have to stay extra 1 year before you can apply for British citizenship, right? But you can instantly apply for your kids to become British citizen. After that, you can apply for their passport. You don't need to apply for ILR for kids born in the UK. Instead, you apply for British citizenship for them so they can become British citizen before you. Okay, after applying for British citizenship, then you go ahead to apply for British passport for them. So the last scenario is child born after you got your ILR. So when you get your settled status and you born that child automatically becomes British citizen. The child is British citizen by birth. You don't need to apply for ILR for that child. You don't also need to apply for British citizenship for that child because that child is British citizen by birth. The only thing that you need to apply is passports, which cost around £50. You apply for passports and they get it. That's all. So for child born in the UK, after you get your settled status, they are the ones that automatically becomes British citizen and they do not need to apply for ILR and they do not need to apply to become British citizen. Instead, you just apply for passport for them. So to summarize, children born outside the UK, they will need to apply for ILR when they qualify after staying for 5 years. If you are on a 5-year visa before you get your settled status, they will follow the same routes. They will need to apply ILR after they qualify. And when they are applying for ILR, if they are under 18, they just apply. They don't need to pass the life in the UK test, and they don't need English requirements test. But if they are between ages 18 to 64 years, then they need to apply, then they need to pass life in the UK test and also pass their English test. Then for kids born in the UK before you get your settled status, once you get your settled status, you can apply for them to become British citizen, okay? And then their passports. Then for kids born after you get your settled status, this ones becomes British citizen automatically. You only need to apply for their passports, their British passports. So if this video is able to clear your confusion, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, okay? Like, comment, and share to people that may benefit from this video. If you have any questions, also please feel free to drop it in the comment section, okay? So I'm going to be making another video on frequently asked questions on ILR because I've made some videos. If you check out my channel, you'll see some videos that I've already made on it, but people are asking questions. So I'm going to make a separate video covering all the questions that people ask, okay? So you need to check out for that video. And if you have any question, drop it for me in the comments and I'll answer them, all right? Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. For now, you take care. Bye-bye.